You're gonna see our sweet dance moves.
Hey, Erin and Sarit, we are back. In today's video, we're going to talk about how to actually reach the goals that you set for yourself. What do we mean by that?
So it's a new year, every year. If you're a high achiever, chances are is that you set some goals, okay? Most people don't even set goals. So if you've already done it, congratulations. If you haven't yet done it, well, we would encourage you to. Either way, that wouldn't even be the determining factor of what happens to you this year. Because it is one thing to set something up. By setting goals, you are setting yourself up for success, but you're not actually guaranteeing that you will achieve those same objectives that you've set for yourself. So the question becomes, how do we actually get there, okay? And the truth is that there are 4 simple steps. It is easier than you think. You do not need to be any kind of rocket scientist in order to do that. And it doesn't matter how you set your goals, okay? Depending on who you listen to or how you do it, you may have a different methodology, and either way, that's totally fine. The point is that you actually get there. So how do you get there is the question. There are 4 steps to it.
Why do we even set goals in the first place? Because we want to achieve something. Mm-hmm. But how many times have you set a goal for yourself and you haven't reached it? Maybe you set a goal for yourself 6 years ago, you still haven't reached. That's okay. It doesn't mean you can't. You probably just don't have the right tools and strategies to be able to follow through with making it to that final destination. Or maybe once you get really good at learning how to reach an initial goal that you set, you will soon realize that that goal and that target actually keeps moving. You reach it, but it's like chasing the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. Mm-hmm. Once you get close, you realize how close you are and you start to set a new goal. So it's just this kind of like never-ending rolling pattern of set a goal. Once I get super close, I set a new one. But because I've gotten that close and then I set a new one, I'm gonna just pass by that initial end destination. Look, your goals don't end until your life does, because every day you wake up with you. And so if we don't have a purpose and we don't have something that we're reaching towards, we get really depressed. So this video hopefully will help you learn how to take the goals that you've actually set for yourself, reach them, surpass them, and continue on. So what are these 4 things?
So the 4 things are, well, let's begin with the first.
Number
1 is finding significance, okay? What do we mean by that? This is what we call finding your why. Now, finding the significance of why you want to achieve that goal is important, is because here's the thing. If you want to achieve, something that you either haven't achieved before or something that's better than, either way, that's going to be an uphill climb. Okay, which means that it is not going to, be a smooth, easy path. It's not like taking your bike and cruising around. It's like, taking your bike and going up a hill. It's going to require more effort. It's going to require more energy. It's going to require some work on your plate. So, it is really hard to keep on climbing anything if you don't understand why you're doing it in the first place. Think about it like climbing a mountain, okay? Why would somebody want to climb a mountain? They could have different reasons. Maybe it's because they, are stone collectors and there's this stone that they're trying to achieve. Or maybe it's because
they're on a treasure hunt.
Yeah, or maybe it's because, they just want to get a really good workout and they heard that, climbing up this mountain is going to be an amazing workout. Or maybe it's because the views from the peak are just going to be absolutely breathtaking.
Look, nobody sets out to achieve anything great and have it easy. If you've ever had a kid, Could you say that your pregnancy or giving birth was easy? Probably not. But was it worth it? Probably. So, anything that we want to achieve, it's silly for us to think that getting there is going to be easy.
Another thing that's important to talk about, that's kind of like a side comment, is that, there's no good or bad with any specific goal, okay? What matters is that this goal is authentic to you. And now the reason why I say this is because, especially if we're talking about your body or weight loss or anything related to that, something that we have found is that a lot of people, until they really understand, what is the right goal for them, normally spit out other people's ideas. If your goal is not important to you, you will never have a strong connection to that significance, and you'll never want to pursue it. Let's say if your mom told you you need to lose 100 pounds, but all you really want, or all you can truly wrap your head around right now, is 40 pounds. By you doing 100 pounds, by you writing 100 pounds, when it doesn't really mean much to you, means that you're probably not going to want to pursue it in the first place.
It's not your idea, it's not going to be significant.
Yeah.
And when you don't have a significant kind of attachment to something, you're going to find every excuse not to do what you need to do to keep climbing that hill. What's number 2?
Having a great attitude.
Great!
Not just good,
but great!
Why is that? Because we just said that it is an uphill battle. Okay, so it's going to require perseverance. It's going to require tenacity. It's going to require blood, sweat, and tears. And if any marketer is currently listening to us, their ears are probably cringing, because they're like, Erin Sarit, you're using none of the words that anybody wants to hear. You're using heart, you're using blood, you're using sweat, you're using tears. Here's the thing. We care about you hearing the truth. And this is something that nobody in this industry tells you. Okay? You're not just going to lose weight by drinking this spoon for 21 days and dropping 30 pounds. No, it doesn't work that way. Okay, so it's going to require determination. It's going to require blood, sweat, and tears, and that's why you gotta have a great attitude about it. Because check this out. Think about it like a boxing match. Okay, we just watched this movie the other day, so I think that's what I'm thinking about it.
Mm-hmm.
Think about it like a boxing match, okay? Let's say you're in the rink, right? And you're getting punched in the face, and just blood's coming out of your mouth, your ears puffing up, and all of that. If you have a bad attitude, you're like, this hurts, I'm bleeding, why am I doing this? You're just gonna quit. The other person's going to win, right? Now here's the thing, life and weight loss is just like life. It's like a microcosm of life. It works the same way. And we nowadays live in this soft society, and that's why, you get promised all these things, drink this teaspoon and lose this weight, or take this pill and lose that amount of weight. All of that is bullshit. Now, if you're getting punched in the face, which you're going to, your ego is gonna get punched in the face. Some days are gonna be hard, some mornings are gonna be cold, you're gonna have to get up while everybody's telling you, oh, why don't you just stay in bed? Why don't you just live a little? Why don't you just have an extra cookie? Whatever, right? This is life, or people in your life throwing at you punches. How are you gonna keep on surpassing this? Only through a great attitude. Yep, you know what? I'm committed to my goals, so I'm gonna have a great attitude, and I'm gonna say no.
It's a lot easier said than done,
right?
At some points in time, to have a great attitude, because when things happen that are unexpected, or something gets in your way, or life happens, or you have a bad day, or something like that, it's much easier said than done. And we have found ourselves in this position. The trick is, how quickly can you recognize that you're having a bad attitude, or how quickly can you recognize that you're choosing to focus on the things about the situation that you don't like? How quickly can you recognize that? Because the quicker you can recognize that, the sooner you can change it around to focus on what are the good things about what is happening right now. I guarantee you, even in the worst of scenarios, you can find something good. Because finding something good is a choice. Having a good attitude comes with that choice to see what's good about the situation. Again, easier said than done. However, your job is to try as fast as possible to recognize and become aware that you're focusing on what you don't like or what you don't want or what's bad about this. Turn it around, make a habit of turning that around and focusing on what is good. Even in the worst case scenario, you have the choice to find what is good. Guess what? You're still breathing. I think that's pretty good. Someone somewhere always has it worse than you do. Okay? So focus on what is good about what you're doing. Focus on what you're going to get out of it. What's the reward? What's the benefit of doing this? What is that purpose? What is that significance I've attached to from the last thing Sarit said? Thing number one.
Thing number one.
Thing number one. And thing number two is having a great attitude is a choice. Thing number three is
taking action. You can't just wish for it. Like, yes, manifestation is a thing. And we truly believe in that. But you can't just, like think your way to slim or think your way to weight loss. Like, yes, there's a lot that's involved with your thinking, but if the think is not followed by action, and the most important thing is consistent action, then guess what? You're not going to get there. Now, the reason why I emphasize on consistent is because a lot of people, especially when people come to us, we have found that they have what we call the all or nothing mindset. Okay, so for them, it's like, all right, coach, like, let's do this thing. Like, I can totally handle hard and like whatever.
I'm all in, ready.
But if you're not focusing on building consistency, then you won't be able to push through for a longer period of time. Now, I would say that most people, especially if they're go-getters to some degree, are great at pushing through for anywhere from a couple of days to a couple of weeks. But the longer you can go, the more you're going to achieve. So it's about taking action. You can't just wish for it. You can't just think about it. You have to be about it. But you have to be about it day in, day out. And of course, depending on where you're at on your journey, it's going to look differently. For example, if somebody currently is inconsistent and we just get them to be consistent 3 days a week, that's a win. If somebody's maybe consistent for the first part of the week, but as soon as hump day hits, they're so over it, then getting them to be consistent 5 days is a win. If somebody, those are where more of the go-getters, I would say lie at are, pretty good at being consistent Monday through Friday, then the next level is to be just as good during the weekend. Because what happens on the weekend really matters. Think about it. If your weekend starts, let's say at 5 p.m. on Friday, goes all the way through Monday, that is 2 days and how many hours? 5 plus 5.
10.
16. So 48 plus 16. Okay. So your weekend is 64 hours and your week has 168 hours. 64 divided by 168 is 38% of your week.
38% of your week.
So even if you were to be perfect, Monday through Friday, you're actually starting at 60%.
60% is a D in school, ladies and gentlemen. Look, you can dream, but while you're dreaming, you're asleep. So eventually, you gotta wake up and take action on that dream. Otherwise, it can become a nightmare. And your action is relative to you, and it has to be realistic to where you're starting from. Thing number 1.
Find significance.
Thing number 2.
Have a great attitude.
Thing number 3.
Take action, and not just any action, but consistent action.
Consistent action. And thing number 4
is having a strategy. Okay? Strategy. Most people are so fixated on strategy that they forget the other things, which are really, really important. Making sure that, you're persevering with your why, you have a great attitude while you're persevering, because otherwise you're going to give up, and making sure that you're being consistent, that is really the foundation.
That is the strategy.
That is the foundation, but the icing on the top is having the right strategy. Because if you don't, you're going to cut yourself short. Okay? This is why experts always lead with strategies. Okay? You have to have a good foundation, and then on top of it, you gotta add a good strategy to it. Because a good strategy, when you're doing the rest of the things well and you're moving along, then you want to excel. This is when you're able to dial in the details, okay? However, don't get so wrapped up on strategy that you forget the rest of the stuff. Most people are so fixated with being perfect with their strategy, especially with all things weight loss. Oh, gotta make sure I'm dialed in, gotta run my macros, my calories are on point. Meanwhile, I only do it Monday through Wednesday or January through March. I don't give a shit how on point you are. If you cannot follow through with that, then that strategy doesn't work, okay?
So think about this. Think about going from, what Sarit's saying is most people try to start at level expert on Guitar Hero when they haven't even completed the beginner series. So you're doomed, right? You cannot only play Freebird on Guitar Hero like a boss if you've worked your way up, okay? It's like a baby going from a baby learning how to barely grab onto the coffee table to just stand up and do that little dance thing that they do. To jump rope expert, there's a lot of steps in between. You will absolutely fail if you come out of the womb and think, oh, I'm a jump rope expert, give me the rope. And you just start doing backflips and stuff with the twirling it around and doing burpees at the same time. It just logically, it makes zero sense. So if you have been struggling with your weight loss and if you have been inconsistent, don't think that you are too good to focus on the basics. There's a lot of people, not a lot of people actually, there are a handful of people that come in to learn from us because they see something that they think we can help them with. And then they come in and they say, this is too basic, this is so easy, this isn't gonna work, this doesn't whatever. And I'm like, so why are you still struggling?
Because you're missing step number 2.
So do yourself a favor. Step number 2 was
a great attitude.
I'm getting that mixed up. But also thinking that strategy comes first. The first half of your strategy is get good at the basics. Build a foundation, then build on top of that foundation. You can't build the top of a tower before you build the bottom of a tower. It makes zero sense.
The greatest basketball player of all times.
I think that's debatable, but who are you talking about?
Okay, so you can tell us in the comments who you think it is. Is it Michael Jordan?
A, Michael Jordan.
Or is it
B,
LeBron
Kobe.
James?
What about Kobe? What about Black Mamba?
Okay.
Bro?
Or
This is highly debatable.
So B, Kobe Bryant. C, LeBron James. Post it in the comments. Let us know who you think is the greatest basketball player of all times, okay? I think it's Michael Jordan. Anyways.
The thing is, every single one of them have the fundamentals like they can do in their sleep.
Yes, absolutely yes. And my point for sharing this is, so if you're thinking about like the greatest of all time, okay?
The GOAT!
It could be, you know, one of those three. Would love to know which one of those three you think is the greatest of all time.
That's probably very important. I would love to know what your biggest takeaway is from this video. So you can comment who you think the greatest basketball player of all time is, dash what your biggest takeaway was from this video.
Yeah. Anyways, Michael Jordan started each and every single practice with 1,000 chest passes. Like, think about it. Even if you were to have a basketball team, I would probably tell you, like, don't put me on your basketball team because whatever. But the point is, even somebody like me can do 1,000 chest passes. Like, somebody who is not skilled at basketball.
But if you do anything over and over and over the right way, you get really good at it, like second nature good at it.
Yeah, like imagine doing 1,000 reps every single day. You gotta have a great attitude for that. Because after 50, you're like, I'm an expert, I don't need this, right? Like all these voices in your head. After 100, okay, like maybe I'm gonna take a break. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. So you gotta have a great attitude for that. Why did he do that? Because he wanted to be the greatest of all time. So what did he do? He followed through with consistent action. But also, after he did that, he practiced some, you know, really cool during practice. And that's where the strategy comes in. So strategy is important. Our point for sharing this is because if you were to have the first three and a good strategy, you're going to be able to reach way farther. That's just the reality of it. But don't get so fixated on the strategy that you forget the first three, because most people get fixated on the strategy, and they forget the first three, and either way, something's going to go wrong. Like with a perfect strategy, like Michael Jordan still lost the game. Kobe Bryant still lost the game.
So true. You're not gonna win everything.
Or even lost the season. What are you gonna do? Okay, go into the next season with a better strategy. Great. Does that mean that you're gonna win? Don't think so, because they all go into it with a great strategy. Wherever you go, there you are.
Okay, pop quiz. What are the 4 things that we talked about in this video to help you actually reach a goal that you set for yourself? Put it in the comments, we want to see it. And if this video brought value to you, if you laughed, if you learned something new, if it made you have a different perspective or think of something you hadn't thought of before, please like this video and do your friends and your family and your loved ones a favor, or the people who are friends with you on any social media or wherever, and share this video with them so that they can get the same kind of quality information that you've been getting. And if you really like our videos, hit that subscribe button. And if you want to know the next time we drop new videos, then hit the little bell notification so that you'll be notified to know when we drop another fun, fancy video. And
we drop it like that.
Exactly. And also, the link in the description has for you, if you would like to begin to build this momentum, build this consistency that we're talking about in a way that's really fun and entertaining and light. We have a 14-day workout program that we do. It's totally free. We've done all the videos for you. There's no equipment required. You can do it in your house. You can do it in a hotel room if you're traveling. You can do it if you don't like to wear clothes and you want to be naked by yourself. You can do it with just your body. All fitness levels are welcome. There are modifications for everything. There are examples of each movement. Description of the workout followed by a cool little meditation cool down. So if you want access to that, there is a link in the description of this video as well. And for now,
and also you're gonna see our sweet dance move.
We'll see you guys on the next one.